I'm back. In the last lesson, we talked about long-chain triglycerides and how it's important to eat them without the presence of starchy carbohydrate, anything that's going to elevate your blood sugar. Now, that does not include fibrous carb like broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower. It doesn't include that. That's going to be fine if we portion control, but we'll have to portion control because why? Anything that has fat in it's going to be higher in calories. So it becomes even more important you control that portion. But there is a type of fat that's extremely beneficial, and it has almost zero propensity to be stored as fat. Medium chain triglycerides. Now we have a cooking oil, awesome, 100% MCT cooking oil, and it is awesome. And we just use it in place of any cooking agent that we used before the Shibboleth lifestyle. If a recipe called for olive oil, we're going to use MCT. If it called for vegetable oil or canola oil, we're going to use MCT oil for many reasons. MCTs are medium chain triglycerides as opposed to long chain triglycerides. They're still dense in calories, but they're the kind of calories that burn up so rapidly, they dissipate as heat so rapidly, they have no propensity to be stored as fat. In fact, when you consume macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fat, your body looks at that and it surveys what you've just consumed, and your body will first burn the fastest digesting carbohydrate. And you could provoke a fat bust with that too, but that's where your body will start. Then we'll start burning off the fat, then we'll start burning off the protein. Well, what happens is we eat so much, your body never even, it's burning the carbohydrate as an energy source and provoking the fat bust, and then you never even get to the fat that you ingested, and it's already in the form of fat, therefore easily stored as fat, plus you provoke the fat bust. That's a terrible recipe for health and wellness. But when I consume a medium chain triglyceride, it goes first. It's used as an energy source first, and if that's the main fat on your plate, then you don't have to worry about storing fat. The body has no fat there to store. So cook with MCT oil. 100% optimized for cooking MCT oil. Also, ghee butter works, coconut oil works, but there's a difference. Coconut oil has 66% MCT. It's not 100% MCT. Keep in mind that MCTs also have great benefit to the brain, for your brain health. They're a great thermogenic. You're just going to be healthier and better off, assuming your doctor agrees, consuming MCTs as opposed to LCTs, and especially if you're going to have carbohydrate and you need a fat, then we want MCTs. What would that look like? So let's say that I'm having a hot dog and I'm having a Shibboleth approved category 2 bun, and I'm having a Hebrew National 97% lean Frank, and I want to give that Frank some more flavor because it's so lean. So I kind of roll it around into my MCT oil and listen to that piggy squeal, right? So I got my Frank and it's cooked, so I've got it in the bun. And I put my condiments. That's a 1 plus a 2. But let's say I'm craving I'm craving a dessert. I'm craving a dessert. So I add as a dessert an apple. I cut me up an apple, have an apple. That's a category 1, a category 2, a category 5. That works, right? Now think about that. I had the apple that provoked a blood sugar response. I get a little bit of the fat bust, but because I used MCT oil, it's already dissipated its heat and gone away. Isn't that beautiful? Somebody ought to shout glory. You have just found the holy grail of nutrition, weight loss, and wellness, my friend. I hope you'll embrace it. It's a beautiful thing. Now, what happened if I didn't know and I used butter or something else, some other fat, some vegetable or something to cook into that Frank, or I used a Frank that wasn't approved and already had a lot of fat in it? Got a real problem because that apple caused the fat bust to come. Those long chain triglycerides hang out in our bloodstream a lot longer than an MCT. They get picked up, shuttled to the booty. So this is fun stuff. I hope that you become a lifelong student just like I have, because after all, we think about food more than we think about anything else. You say, no, I want you to really consider that on the morrow. Consider that. Get up and just pay attention. Be aware. of how often you think about food. I bet you think about food more than you even think about your significant other. Not that you love value standpoint, you love food more than your significant other, but it's kind of become like it's the thing, right? What are we going to eat tomorrow? What are we going to eat between? What are we going? Now become the bully of food instead of food being the bully of you, and watch the adipose tissue dissipate like heat and go away. Hope y'all are having fun. I'll see you in the next lesson.